We're live. There you go. All right, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Then I am ready. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
This guy. Excuse me, I'm talking to him.
Oh.
Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1. Go Nintendo Podcast, Webisode 783. The Hakamo O Podcast.
Tasty.
Mama Brain, will you tell us about Hakamo O, please?
I sure will.
Hakamo O.
Mm-hmm. Hakamo. The scaleless, scarred parts of its body are signs of its strength. That's beautiful. It shows them off to defeated opponents.
That's beautiful.
They're 3 feet tall, almost 4 feet tall.
That's beautiful.
They weigh just a smidge over 100 pounds. There's both male and female. The category is, of course, scaly. And their abilities are soundproof and bulletproof. Bulletproof.
Not the bulletproof I was thinking of, but I will accept it.
What were you thinking?
With the girls singing. Bulletproof. That one.
I was thinking Radiohead.
Wrong. No,
I'm always
wrong.
thinking Radiohead. Okay. Well, that's the Pokemon, so
Okay, can I have my phone back, please? Thanks, Mom Brain. That was
Mom Brain.
beautiful. Listen, I'll explain. But first, hello, Freddy Fro and Arcade Token and Giant Reggie and the Owl Wolf and 8-Bit Lego and Mom Brain and Anastasia Beaverhausen and Rockya and Tanuki Tony, Nico Darunia, if I didn't say that already, Armored Frog, whoever else is in here. Thanks for joining us.
Doesn't anyone care what I think?
What do you think, Josh? Hello, Robot Face.
Thanks. Very cool.
Very cool. Hello, Bert Nerbers. Yes, hello to everybody in there. Thanks for joining us today. If you don't know what's been going on, hello, Kirby. The Pokemon was, I don't know.
Scale.
The Pokemon was Hakamo-O.
Yeah.
Hakamo-O. Hello, Blunners. For anyone who doesn't know, and there might be a lot because not everybody keeps extremely up to date on everything going on in my world as they shouldn't. But if you remember the Patreon, I don't remember if I said anything anywhere else. But this past week has been a nightmare for me because I have been very sick, probably the sickest I have ever been. Last Sunday night, I started to feel a little bad, nothing terrible. I woke up Monday and I wanted to blow my brains out. My face hurt so uncontrollably bad. And I had a headache and I had body aches. It was horrendous. So bad. Mom Brain will attest to it. I could not, thanks, Comanche, I could not sleep. The most I could do was lay down for a half hour, and the pain, I was in so much pain that it would wake me up. And unfortunately, the pain was worse when I was laying down. And I'm not someone who can sleep sitting up. I tried to half sitting up, half laying down. It just didn't work. So I seriously went, this is a terrible idea, Comanche.
I thought I was going to get him.
Goodbye, Comanche. Oh, go get him. Look at that thing went.
Get that baby doll.
So yeah, I went over 3 days with maybe a combined total of an hour's worth of sleep altogether, at most. It was horrendous. And then Thursday morning, when I woke up, finally, I felt like garbage, but enough not garbage that I could actually sleep. So I'm still way behind on sleep. But Thursday, I was working like usual, and then at 7 o'clock, I was like, I got to take a nap now that I can finally sleep. I need to lay down and get some rest. And I set my phone for an hour later to get up and get back to work. I slept from 7 to 7 the next day, like 7 at night to 7 in the morning. I was dead to the world. Like Mom Brain was doing, she was power cleaning the bathtub. And I never
with a drill.
I never heard any of it. I heard nothing.
Why don't you tell them? Well, I'll tell them what happened this morning.
So, yeah, it's been rough. I wanted to apologize to you guys because I haven't been able to do videos like I normally would, and I haven't. Every weekday I do a post on the Patreon, and I couldn't do it this week. I did everything I possibly could to make sure GoNintendo was updated as regular, and it was killing me. I'm very happy to say that. It was still up to date as it regularly would be, minus Thursday because I passed out at 7 at night. But Don came in early in the morning and did some stuff, so thank you to Don. But yeah, it was very important for me to make sure GoNintendo's just the regular news was going. This coming week, I should be able to get back to regular on the Patreon. I do not feel good now, but I feel. I would say, rough estimate, a bazillion times better than what I did earlier in the week. And unfortunately, I was saying to Mom Brain, no, it's not Corona stuff. I do not have Corona. As I was saying to Mom Brain, hello, Dre Gamer. Earlier in the week, I also started writing a new writing gig recently. I write for Game Daily, which is very different from what I usually do. Game Daily is more like business centric, but it's all about game news. So I had the opportunity to write for them, and I'm like, yeah, that's exciting. And last week, the guy that I'm working with said he was going away on vacation for a week. Did I have a problem doing the articles over there for the whole week? And I was like, no, that's not a problem at all. No big deal. I can crank out those articles. And then Sunday night hit and all this stuff happened. So all week, not only did I have to do GoNintendo, I have to write those articles too. I wasn't going to tell the guy who is on vacation, and he's been the only guy writing over at Game Daily. I wasn't on his vacation going to say, oh, I'm dying. You have to take back over. So yeah, it's been a rough week. But yeah, if you want to go check out what my business style writing is like, you can go over on Game Daily. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. All those posts are from me. They're labeled as me, Kevin, not Rummy Cowboy. But yeah, it's been a rough week. But thank you for putting up with any awkwardness in the update schedule and all that. This coming week should be fine. I'm on antibiotics, and this is something else. I mean. This podcast always talks about stuff that's not related to Nintendo.
It's your podcast. You do what you want.
We get to the Nintendo stuff. Mom Brain enlightened me to something I didn't even know existed. There's an app that connects you with doctors, and they talk to you from home just through text, and they can get you prescriptions for stuff. And I was like, well, what the hell? I'll try it because I don't have health insurance. So I did it. And talk to the doctor, and you go through the app and it whittles down all your symptoms and it says what it thinks you have, but then it connects you with a real doctor. And I talked to them and they were like, yeah, we think it's this. And then they gave me a prescription for antibiotics, and that was it. You can do a subscription to the app, which I forget how much it was. It wasn't a lot. Or you could do a one-time use for $19. And I was like, wow,
which is like less than a lot of people's copay.
Yeah, so I paid the $19, and then my prescription was $13, and that's it. That's crazy to me, because I was saying to Mom Brain, I'm sure there's plenty of people who don't get medical help because A, they don't think they can afford it, or B, they don't have insurance, and this is an option for you to use. And if you are unable to get to a doctor because you don't have transportation or whatever.
I mean, obviously, it's for things like some kind, like an ear infection, a sinus infection, bronchitis. You're not going to be
like, hey, doc, I broke my arm.
Right, right. Or like you have some kind of unidentified. Well, I mean, even a rash, you might be able to,
Oh, you can send pictures. Yeah, they will ask you for pictures of stuff if it's related to your symptoms. But yeah, like you're not going to get a gunshot wound and hop on the app and be like, well, let's hurry up. Like the whole process altogether took, I would say, maybe an hour and a half. And that's
you got
because,
to be home and not in a doctor's office, which would have taken just
that's
as long.
Because you're talking to a doctor who is like at their office doing like regular doctor stuff with people in person. So in between that, they're talking with you, and you get to look up who the doctors are, and it tells you all their credentials and where they're licensed and all that. And I did a whole bunch of research on the app before to make sure it was legit. I was so impressed. I had no idea something like this existed, but it does. Yes.
It'd be great.
Robot Face says dick pics for my doc. Here's the issue, doc. It's right
That'd be good for like if you were on vacation too.
Yes.
Like, and it was just, plenty of people get like swimmer's ear or UTIs or whatever, like on vacation, and you could just do a quick, easy peasy thing.
Such a fantastic option for the stuff people normally go to the doctor for.
I imagine if it came down to like pain management, they might get a little weird that people are trying to like scam them out of like getting a prescription for like Vicodin or something like that.
Yeah, I'm sure they have handled that stuff and they have their ways around. Hello, Mine Without a Cause. But yeah, like normal doctor stuff. I mean, I would say, Mom Brain, I'm sure you would agree. There's been times where I felt sick and you're like, God, I don't even want to go to the doctor. I don't think I can drive myself to the doctor.
Or it's actually like, when I had the flu, like they don't want you there. Like if someone could just.
And that's a whole nother thing. During these times now, there's plenty of people that don't want to go to the doctor because of the stuff that's going on because they're worried. Okay, this guy's got to go. He's leaning on the whole board.
All right, come on.
So yeah, that's that. So I apologize. That things may have been a little bit wonky this week, but we should be good to go from here on out. I'm feeling better each day that passes since Thursday, so that is good. I still need to catch up on some sleep and all that, but also, Mom Brain was making fun of me. This is something she's known about me forever, but I had no other choice this week. I don't know how many people are out there like this. I know there are people that are like this. I cannot swallow pills. I have a horrible gag reflex. It is horrendous. And I get it from my dad because my mom can swallow pills, no problem. My dad to this day cannot swallow pills. I remember being in my house, like growing up, where I could hear my dad going to swallow a pill and then hearing like horrible choking. And then you hear like a pill getting shot across the floor because he choked it up. So this medicine that they were offering was in pill form. And I said, I know this is an embarrassing question as a 38-year-old man, but do you have this in liquid form? And the doctor said, we do, but it's exponentially more expensive. And I was like, can you tell me how much? And she said, I can't. You have to talk to the doctor and then we'd have to do this whole thing all over again. I was like, well, I guess I'll suffer through it. So I have been putting my pills in spoonfuls of macaroni and cheese. Why macaroni and cheese? That is the only food I know of that I can eat without chewing.
Like not like the blue box Kraft mac and cheese, Easy Mac.
No, you said not. Yes.
Yes, and not like real mac and cheese, like homemade.
Excuse me.
Like with like the cheese that's like stringy, like real cheese that like, no way.
So, Wolf is like me. He says, me too. I cannot swallow them either. Tony says, who is surprised RC's dad can't swallow pills? Yes, it is. If we were playing a guessing game and I said, here's a question, can my dad swallow pills or not? I would imagine most people who watch parents play would just have an idea that he wouldn't be able
Meanwhile, I can literally take a fistful of pills, vitamins, whatever, and like shoot them back all at once with like little or no water.
Well, I said to Mom Brain, I can't imagine that this is a rare thing because the phrase a tough pill to swallow exists. So people must have problems swallowing pills.
No,
but
not at all.
Thanks, Josh. Josh, I don't even think you have to deal with pills. Robots don't take pills.
Yes, I really did.
Robots take pills, Josh?
Sure, whatever.
So I've taken 2 pills so far. They were both today, and I'm very happy to report that both have been successful. So
you did great.
We'll see how it goes from here on out. But Giant Reggie says Josh takes his pills with motor oil. Yeah, that makes sense. Mom Brain also was talking about the what do you put your mouth around the outside of a bottle of water when you already have the pill in your mouth, and then you have no option but to
put your lips around the water bottle and tip it back.
You have no option but to force it down your throat. And my dad tried that today. He was taking, I would guess, a vitamin, and he said it worked for him. So there's my 2 solutions: mac and cheese and deep throating a bottle.
Well, you don't put it just beyond your lips. Like that's not deep throating. For the record, I don't know if you've ever done that before, but
Kirby says Josh's pills are filled with nanobots that provide him with updates. Oh, that makes sense.
This morning, Ramit told my mother that he needed her to come stay with us so that she could rub his throat so he could take pills.
And I'm sure she would.
So Ramit has been sleeping like the dead, and so I've been painting our bedroom, and I can't take like the like super strong chemically smells for too long. So I decided last night that I was going to sleep on the couch. And Ramit was asleep on the couch from like 7 p.m. on. So I was watching a show and whatever, and I don't know, maybe like 1 o'clock, I turned the TV off and read for a few minutes and then fell asleep. And this morning I hear him like moving around. So, and I had my sleep mask on. So I like pushed my sleep mask back and I was like, hey, what's going on? And he was like, oh my God. And I was like, what? And he goes, I didn't know you were there. He had gotten up, gone to the kitchen, gotten something to drink, came back to the couch, like in the living room. Our living room is like the size of like a nothing.
I thought you said you were going to sleep on a couch. So I looked over there and I saw a pile of blankets. And then I looked again with my glasses and I saw a pile of blankets. So I was like, I guess she's not there. And then you scared the hell out of me. And I said she reminded me of it was from the episode of Hoarders. What was it? The Trash Witch.
The Trash
Witch. If you go on Google and type Hoarders, the Trash Witch, you'll find like a 3 or 4 second clip, and that is exactly what it was like with Mom Brain. All right, all the
did you tell everyone no Nikki Hill today?
Oh, no Nikki Hill today. He is celebrating his mother's birthday. It is not his mother's birthday yet. His mother's birthday is on August 19th, Wednesday, which happens to be my birthday as well. So he is there socially distanced, partying it up with his mother. But he sends his love. All right. Mom Brain, hit me with that jingle. Let's get some news going.
I mean...
You know, I got to say, doing the podcast, I was nervous about doing the podcast because of how out of it I am, but doing the podcast makes you feel like more normal. Like you're...
That's why
I'm sure afterwards I'm going to be shot, but...
That's why I suggested you hopped out in the car with me yesterday, because I think it's like good to...
do normal things,
you know, just like get outside. Even it's exhausting once you've been sick.
I'm not much about that outside life, actually. All right, second quarter game spending reached its highest total in U.S. history, which should be no surprise because, as you might know, this past quarter a lot of people have been staying at home, social distancing and quarantining and all that good stuff. Thank you, Ella Wolf.
What did Ella Wolf say?
He said happy birthday. It's
Josh,
you didn't have to. Nobody sings happy birthday like Josh. Thank you, Josh. Yes,
I'm the world's best singer.
Clearly proven just now. People were staying at home during quarantine, and or I should say, people were then staying at home during quarantine, and some still are now. But yes, the quarter saw a huge increase in revenue for video games, a record 11.6 billion. So that is a record for the U.S. That's an increase of 30% compared to the same time period last year. Obviously, there were certain products that really helped raise that total, and you wouldn't be surprised to know that Animal Crossing New Horizons led the way because that sucker just keeps bringing in millions and millions of sales. So that was the best-selling that was the best-selling game during the period. And not surprisingly, the Switch was the #1 hardware. So those, along with other games, of course, did a lot of the heavy lifting. Other popular games during the quarter were Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Call of Duty Warzone, Candy Crush Saga, Candy Crush Soda Saga, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Grand Theft Auto 5, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Minecraft, NBA 2K20, Pokemon Go, and The Last of Us Part 2. So lots of... you're getting games across all different platforms there, including mobile. Really, games like Candy Crush Saga and all that are a great way to kill time when you're at home and you don't have to buy any extra hardware to play that stuff. So I completely understand people getting in on that.
Your, like just to have when you're like waiting somewhere. I mean, when back when we went places.
Well, that's what there's. Well, people are just sitting at home now, but
yeah,
you can only watch so many
ads for things.
So many like TV shows and stuff. Like this week when I couldn't sleep, I was up.
God bless TikTok.
There was nothing I could do So I watched. I was getting caught up on Queer Eye because I really like that show, and I haven't seen the most recent season.
And
so
it's a very comforting show.
been watching that, and I was like, yeah, at least I can like emotionally feel nice while I'm watching this. Man, does that show make me cry? Though
Me too.
I would be devastated if I heard that those people were not nice in real life, because they do such a fantastic job of appearing to be genuinely nice people that I would be devastated if I
can't
found out
imagine.
they weren't.
We would know if they were crappy people.
I would imagine by now you would have heard something. Yeah.
They all just seem like such good human beings.
Well, I would imagine, being on a show where your aim is to help people feel better about themselves, what's there to be upset about, really? Sean Snocta says it'll be interesting or potentially saddening to see next quarter results, given the increasing levels of unemployment and financial struggles now that the pandemic has set in, and people have to cut back on luxury items like gaming, at least in the U.S. Yeah, things will certainly go down as we move forward. But yeah, it'll be interesting to compare quarters.
Tanuki Tony says Jonathan Van Ness for president.
I mean,
I feel like if I had to choose one of them, I'd choose Karamo.
For president?
Yes.
Which Queer Eye guy would you want for president?
I'd choose Karamo.
What's the one that nobody likes? I like him. I shouldn't. Nobody people don't dislike him. The guy that builds everything.
Oh, the blonde
Bobby. I really like Bobby.
I do too.
I like Jonathan. I like Karamo. I think we can all agree the one that shouldn't be president is the one that cooks food, because he does the least.
Anthony?
He doesn't do anything.
But he's very attractive.
People are like, I'm depressed about how I look. I'm embarrassed about my job. My family doesn't speak to me. And Karamo's like, let's get to the root of everything. And Bobby's like, you're living in a dirty space and it's taking you down.
And Anthony's like, have you ever made fresh guacamole before?
Fish tacos.
Fresh guacamole will put you in the right headspace.
I mean, every once in a while, somebody is like very into cooking, and it makes sense.
But it's also I get the point of it though, because
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying if you have to get rid of one of them.
Yeah. If you're feeding yourself well, though, that shows like self-care and respect. And if you can feed other people, well,
it is an important part.
You don't like my
agree.
view on.
I just think that could be folded into somebody else. I like Jonathan. I mean, he doesn't know about food, but I don't think there has to be a specific food guy. Now, let me say this. I don't think they should take him out of the show. I like that he's there. I like his interactions with everybody else. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, if you had to get rid of one of them, it would be the food guy.
Let's just say this. No one asked if we could get rid of one of them. You brought that up.
Can I get a drum roll, please? Ninjala has reached 4 million downloads. Ninjala, the free-to-play bubblegum arena brawler, has now been downloaded 4 million times. And there is a new update available, pushing the game to version 2.0. This unlocks international battle. Now players all over the world can fight against one another. The update also introduces numerous balance changes and UI improvements, and changes up how players will be matched against each other in ranked battles. So there you go. Ninjala is still continuing to bring in people. I have not played it since the first 2 weeks. It didn't tickle my fancy. It wasn't for me. I'm not going to say I'm giving up on it completely, but wasn't really my thing. Guy Bone says, is Gung Ho still run by Michael Keaton? He's doing a great job. He definitely is. I know Ninjala has been downloaded 4 million times. I'd love to see what their active player base is like for any given day, like maybe a weekend to give them the best shot. I want to know how many people are actually still playing it. Mom Brain.
Yeah.
There's been an arrest over Pokemon Go.
What?
2 people were playing Pokemon Go. And 56-year-old Kanahisa Sato has been arrested after he got into a fight with his 55-year-old Pokemon Go playing friend. The 2 trainers met several years ago through Pokemon Go, so they became friends through Pokemon Go, and now they are bitter enemies because of Pokemon Go. The 2 got into an argument over a gym. So, like, a virtual gym, not a real gym. And Mr. Sato says, I got pissed because he, his friend, had gone ahead and took my encampment. So they got into a fight over this, and Sato grabbed his friend by the chest and then kicked his driver's side mirror. Well, bam!
Wow, I am impressed.
So the cops arrested Mr. Sato. And he was brought in on assault and property damage. So I don't know what's going to happen from here on out. Will their friendship survive, or is that it? He's going to defect to Team Rocket now? Team Go Rocket or whatever the hell it's called. I just love two guys getting into a fight about a Pokemon Go gym to the point where they're like roughing each other up and destroying things. I mean, I love it. It's also very sad, but you gotta admit it's kind of funny. Hopefully these two can patch things up at some point. I would imagine the situation's a little too raw right now, so let some time pass. Maybe send each other some gifts through Pokemon Go, and they could get back to a good place. But remember, guys, I know the internet tries to tell you that video games are serious business, but they're really not. You can just play them and have fun. You don't have to get mad at people for them. Giant Reggie says, and the cop, while cuffing the criminal, grinned and said under his breath, "Gotta catch 'em all." There's got to be a cop who thought that at some point. This story for some reason reminded me of a dream that I had just last night because I'm on medicine and overtired and everything. I've been having extremely vivid, crazy dreams, and I have to tell this dream on the podcast because it is crazy. So I had a dream where some like giant, perfectly spherical asteroid.
You got asteroids?
Came to Earth. It didn't crash here. It stopped like inches away from the ground and just hovered. And something about it was like transforming the landscape into like an alien landscape with like all kinds of weird like fauna and stuff. And then like it cracked open, and inside of it was a whole new like world. It was like a alien jungle with all kinds of weird creatures and everything.
That book that I read that they made into a movie that people didn't like.
Jurassic Park.
No.
Little Women. Hunt for Red October.
No, come on. The one that you saw it, and there's the alien thing at the end in the lighthouse, and I read all the books.
Oh, yeah. God damn it. What's the name of that?
It's like a one word.
With
it's not Inception. It's
God damn it! What's the name of that movie? I can't even think of what's her name. What's the actress's name?
No, it wasn't Contact.
What's the actress's name? Why can't I think of that either?
Sandra Bullock?
No, Arrival.
Arrival.
This is terrible. I'm looking it up. Arrival. Let's see if that's it. No, it's not Arrival. God damn it! And I saw that movie.
It was newish. It was a series
Gravity?
of books. No, it was a series of books. I read them all.
All right, this is really terrible. It's the girl from the Star Wars movies. The first set of new 3 Star Wars movies. Why can't I think of her name?
Daisy Ridley?
The first 3 new ones.
Natalie Portman?
Natalie Portman, yes. It's a movie with Natalie Portman in it. Man, I was telling my dream and you threw me completely off here.
I'm so sorry.
Now we're completely sidetracked. That never happens on this show. Annihilation. Thank you, Freddie Fro. Thank you. We'll go on. That's it.
That's what the dream kind of reminds me.
I really like that movie. I need to read the book, I guess. So I'm disappointed.
I really like the books.
So anyway, yes, there's some weird world in there and it starts pouring out into our world. Whatever. I meet up with Mom Brain and my sister. And my sister is like, "We got to go save Dog. I need to get Dog." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And she's like, "Dog is inside that thing." And I was like, all right. So we end up going inside this giant thing. And she's like, "There's Dog." But Dog was a horse, but it was 2 times the size of a horse. And I guess because it was in that thing, it had turned purple. So whatever, we saved Dog. We saved Dog. And we were riding Dog out of there, and we had to go save my parents. And we're all riding on Dog because he's huge. And I'm like petting Dog, and I'm like, "Dog, are you okay? Can you hold all of us?" And he's like nodding his head yes. And I'm like, are you okay? Can you hold up? And he's nodding yes. And I'm like, this is unbelievable. He can understand me. Hello, Kurt Dog. So we're riding. We get to some tunnel, and this tunnel looks like it's filled with like all this gelatinous stuff and like
put up.
Is
that dog?
Kind of like bones or something. And we're going through the tunnel, and it's just so filled with this crap that we can't fit through. And then we see something jump down at the other end of the tunnel. So we go
What's
to turn
wrong with
around. We go to turn around, and we leave the tunnel. And right as we leave, this thing jumps down in front of us. And it is like, it's kind of like a dinosaur with a super long neck, but like a very circular head, like almost like a ball. But it was like, it had like beady, black, goofy eyes, but it was trying to attack us. And it's like swinging at us with its head to take us out. And we're like dodging it while we're on dog. And Mom Brain's like, I got this. And she jumps off. And I'm like, what are you doing? And like she's like jockeying back and forth while this thing's running at her, and it goes to swing at her, and she jumps out of the way, grabs the thing by the neck, and like swings around it like it's a pole and lands on its back. And she's like, yeah, like riding it. And she's like, let's go. And we like rode off through the tunnel, and then I woke up. I don't know what it was. The most fantastical dream I have ever had. I want it to be a movie. It was amazing. Oh man, it was yes, a dinosaur neck stripper pole guy, Bonds. You got it. It was so unbelievable. I just had to share that with you guys. I couldn't let myself forget that dream. I needed to put it out there. All right.
It's really something.
Some former Argonaut devs. Argonaut worked on a whole bunch of things with Nintendo, including Star Fox. They are part of the new Netflix documentary that's out there called High Score. I believe it's 6 episodes, and the whole thing is narrated by Charles Martinet. I really want to check it out. I've heard really good things about it. One of the episodes has some discussion with former Argonaut members, and they talk about their time working at Nintendo on Star Fox. In particular, they talk to Dylan Cuthbert and Giles Goddard. And they talk about working with Miyamoto because he's an interesting guy. And they talk about how much he used to smoke. We all know that Miyamoto used to smoke a lot, but it was like a real part of his personality back then. Mr. Goddard says, they never had anybody outside Nintendo working in the building. They actually made a separate office for us in one room on our own, basically segregated out. Mr. Cuthbert says, the only place in the office where they allowed Miyamoto to smoke was in that place, the area where we were. He'd light up behind us, and he's like smoking away, and we're like programming away, and we're like, oh, is he back again? So we'd be trying to implement something quite interesting, and then he just starts talking about trees or something, or, just something completely out there. But we realized after a while that that's actually the reason why he's so much a creative genius. It's because his brain is kind of thinking about these different things at the same time. So I just love the vision of Miyamoto like pacing back and forth in this little enclosed room, smoking like crazy. And he's like, what if the trees in this game were alive? And they're like, what is this guy talking about?
That's beautiful.
And yes, just in case you don't know, Miyamoto moved away from smoking many, many years ago. He doesn't smoke anymore. So Hawk says, I hate to think of Miyamoto smoking heavily because of the idea of it shortening his life. I wonder if he has kicked the habit. Well, there you go, Hawk. I hope you're listening. He did kick the habit, and he kicked it a very long time ago. Because I believe there's an interview out there where he started talking about how unhealthy it was, and he got to thinking that he should work towards stopping smoking. So that's what he did. All right. Xbox Phil Spencer once again shared some amazingly kind words about Nintendo. Mr. Spencer was on one of the most recent episodes of Gary Whitta's Animal Talking. For those who don't know, Animal Talking is a live talk show that is hosted within Animal Crossing New Horizons. Mr. Whitta has had on like major AAA celebrities on, including Brie Larson and somebody else really, really big that he just had on. But yeah, he had on Phil Spencer recently. And obviously they talked a little bit about Nintendo because they're in a talk show that's taking place in a Nintendo game. And Spencer had some amazing things to say about Nintendo. He said, quote, the pure thing about what Nintendo does is they think about games and they think about their hardware and their platform all as one thing. and build those experiences. And I know the team's there pretty well, and I think it's magical the way we're able to create. I think it's magical the way they're able to create a complete Nintendo experience on their devices, and this experience I'm looking at right here in my hands on my Switch is Animal Crossing. From the Switch running it, to the game itself, to the way you go out to other people's islands. In entertainment business, you know, most things don't turn out to be huge successes, so there's always has to be some amount of surprise. But Nintendo is just masterful at what they do. And I've said it before, I think they have the strongest first-party pedigree out there, and strength, and they're a jewel for us in the games industry and something we should protect.
My body is ready.
Pretty, I mean, really, really, really nice words about Nintendo. I can't think of many other industries where you hear a competitor praise another competitor so highly. Like, that is major, major praise. And it's certainly true. And the entertainment point, I don't think gets brought up enough, because there are companies that have hit games or companies that have hit books or whatever, but Nintendo has hit after hit after hit. Like, they've created multiple, like, award-winning, multi-million selling, like, brands. They're Mario, they're involved with Pokemon, they have The Legend of Zelda, they have Kirby, they have Smash Brothers. Like, so it's amazing that they have so many titles that are so highly praised and sell so many millions of copies and continue to remain popular decades after they were originally launched. That's not something that happens by accident. That's building up fans so that they stick with you. That's maintaining quality for brands over all these years. It's really, really impressive. You don't really see things like that.
Thank you so much for playing my game.
Drew says he's up to something. I don't know what it is, but he's up to something. That's if somebody's heaping a lot of praise, there's going to be people who are like, oh, there's something going on here. I'm sure Microsoft would love to snatch up Nintendo at some point and make them one of their first party developers. Are you kidding me? I would imagine Sony would love the same thing, but I don't ever see Nintendo letting that happen unless... I mean, Nintendo has made comments before where they said they would first bow out of the game industry than rather work under another company like that. So I don't know
That's big words.
That is a position that they will maintain forever. But it is how they thought, at least at one point. And we've seen like how bad things can get for Nintendo with the Wii U, and they found other ways to supplement income at the time, like with the the classic systems and other things. And they turned it around. So Nintendo is more than willing to go to great lengths to ensure that they are never in a position where they even have to consider being snatched up by another company. So, yes, Mumphrey?
Well, I mean, it's one of those funny things that, like, I mean, you've experienced it too. There's like that, like, obviously money is a really important factor in that. Like, there's some people who have to, like, and I mean this, like, without the like disrespect that comes with the word, like, sell out because they have to stay afloat. If they want to keep creating and they want to keep doing what they love, they have to like get help from somebody else or like be bought up. You know what I mean? So I think Nintendo's in a great position. Like, they've been around forever. They've got money. So they can kind of like make their own decisions,
Yeah,
They don't...
but also I think an important part of that is at some core, some part of their team, while Nintendo is a business, some part of that team has a passion for what they're doing. Yeah. Because without that passion, I think things would fall apart. There are people who are business minded, who are making sure the business does certain things to make money. But then there are people who are making those products because they enjoy making them. They get something out of doing that, and they feel like they're putting something valuable out into the world. So, like, think of anybody that's involved with creating a Zelda game or a Mario game. Like, there has to be some part of the team that is like, I'm doing this. Like, I'm working on Zelda. I'm going to create the next Zelda game.
I mean, think about how amazing that is and how many people are like dying to get that job.
I mean, with any job, there's going to be people who are doing it because it's a job and they like the pay that they're getting, or because it's, they like programming or whatever it may be.
And that's why I teach.
There's going to...
Because I get so much money.
Oh, yes. There's going to be people who just are very passionate about creating that experience. So I think that's one of the things that Nintendo... really excels at, and really not only instills in their employees, but makes sure that they hire employees that have something of that spark in them to start off with. Like Nintendo's a very different company, a very different video game company from other companies out there. So that's their special sauce, and it seems to work for them.
Speaking of special sauce, I'm just kidding.
What are you kidding about?
Special sauce.
What the hell are you talking about?
Maybe I want Taco Bell tonight.
Okay.
I mean, I gotta paint. Plus, you're on antibiotics, and we can't both have diarrhea at the same time. We only have one bidet.
Diarrhea.
You're gonna. I don't wish it upon you, but I'm telling you.
You know what?
Your
I'll take that.
system-
I'll take that bet. I'll take that bet. No diarrhea bet.
What happens if you get diarrhea? What do I get?
What do you want?
You have to make me dinner.
Okay.
Like what I want for dinner.
I mean, I'll try it. It's not going
I'm
to
not
come
gonna-
out how you want it, but
If you get diarrhea,
if
You-
I don't, you
what don't I do
have
for you already?
to scratch my back for a half hour
Oh.
uninterrupted.
Geez, that's such a
Deal?
yeah.
Okay. Europe, I guess I'll do. Can we have the Josh? Can you give us the intro, even though Nikki Hill isn't here with us?
What are the next European masterpieces? Let's find out with Nikki's sweet releases.
Thank you, Josh. I will try and put a little bit of a Nikki Hill spin on this. So, Europe, the releases of this week in Europe for the Switch on the eShop. Twist and Bounce, Master Cube, Escape from Tethys.
I'm sorry, did you what?
I'm being like Nikki Hill.
Oh.
Volta X, Metamorphosis.
Can you make a crinkling noise or like
Yeah, right. Banner of the Maid, Zero Strain, The Ambassador, Fractured Timelines, Bite the Bullet, Pool Pro Gold. I think I'm doing a good job.
You're doing a great job.
We Are Doomed.
Is that what I sound like?
Devious Dungeon Collection.
Thanks, Freddie Fro.
Big Diaper, Dipper, Collar X Malice, Unlimited, Faria, Darkest Vile Castle, Double Kick Heroes, Boomerang Foo,
Boomerang Foo.
Through the Darkest of Times, Reason Casual Puzzle, Arcade Archives Super Punch Out, Of Tanks and Demons I. Ramageddon, Ramageddon, I'm sorry. Prehistoric Dude,
That was the thing I fought in your dream.
Tabla Tennis, Lynn, Path of Orcards,
Is that what I sound like?
Regina and Mac. There you go. That's my Nikki Hill impression. I'm gonna say that. I'm gonna give that a solid 7 out of 10. Guybone says, of Tanks and Demons 3, in the end of 2020, the worst thing in the history of mankind has happened. Gates of hell has opened and let the hellish hordes of demons run wildly on Earth. And Guybone says, don't give anybody any ideas. We're well on our way. North America, what do we got here? We got Fareya.
Mm-hmm.
Fareya. Lynn, Path of Orchards. Arcade Archives, Circus Charlie. Big Dipper, Bite the Bullet. Boomerang Foo, Seconoid. Collar X Malice Unlimited. Darkestville Castle. Devious Dungeon Collection. Double Kick Heroes. Helheim Hassle. King of Fighters R2. Master Cube. Mazazum. Or Mazazum? Wuzzle. My Universe, My Baby. Norman's Great Illusion. Of Tanks and Demons 3. Pixel Lines DX Bundle. Pool Pro Gold. Prehistoric Dude. Ramageddon. Regina and Mac. Retro Arcade Shooter. Attack from Pluto. Samurai Showdown 2, Shaolin versus Wu-Tang, The Ambassador, Fractured Timelines, We Are Doomed, Zero Strain, and then there is one new 3DS title this week, Mia's Picnic. That is right. The 3DS got a new game.
That sounds nice.
Guybone says, Boomerang Food looks fun. Reminds me of Stickbold. Boomerang Food does look like fun. The only problem is it is a local multiplayer game, so that's a little bit hard to do right now. I really want to play it, but all I got is Mom Brain and the cat, and that's not really going to work out.
And that's no fun.
All right, Mom Brain, can you hit me with those plugs, and then we'll be back in less than a minute.
This is Super Nintendo.
You know I don't like Dr. Mario. I think he's a fraud back alley doctor.
Am I very happy to be here.
With the help of a doula, you can do anything in the tub.
You're looking at the Nintendo knitting machine. Do you feel that I abused you by making you play Night Trap?
I challenge you guys to a dance-off at McDonald's tomorrow's. What have I done? Sweet Jesus, what have I done? Super Nintendo's entertainment podcast. Every week right here on Greenlit.
How does Bloodborne stack up against, say, Oregon Trail? And is Bomberman just Loadrunner from a different point of view? Find out on Hardcore Gaming 101's Top Games, where we objectively, definitively, and scientifically rank the games you nominate for our ever-growing list. HG 101's Top Games, twice a week, every week, right here on Greenlit.
Thank you very much, Mom Brain. Wolf says,
the pleasure was entirely mine.
Is the cat too good for you guys? He's too good for everybody. Yeah, he's...
Hey, what happened?
He plays with his doll babies all the time, and that's it. Please don't touch him. He is asleep right now. It is great.
Explain doll babies.
They're little catnip-filled dolls that he likes to lick and rub between his feet and sit on.
I got a really nice picture of him today laying on it like it was a pillow.
Put it in the Discord.
I don't know how to do that, but I'll try.
What do you mean? There's a picture button. You just touch the picture button. Nintendo has filed multiple trademarks for The Legend of Zelda. Legend of Zelda is celebrating its 35th anniversary next year, so obviously Nintendo will have something going on to celebrate that. What will it be? We don't know, but Nintendo is covering...
It was a snap, so it's too big. I can't.
How convenient. Take a screenshot of your snap. Nintendo's covering all their bases, so they have trademarks for games and apparel, and there was stuff like toothbrushes and just all kinds of different stuff. So no indicator of like what will actually be released, but there's going to be, some merchandise without a doubt. So if you're looking for a game, I don't know. We're going to have to wait longer to find that out, but certainly something is coming. There's going to be some sort of celebratory items at the very least. Guybone says, can't wait for the special edition Zelda diapers. Yes, diapers was specifically named in there too. Kirby says, how do you guys feel about my sister naming her daughter after your first cat? What's our first cat? What's the kid's name? I don't know babies' names.
Well, I mean, our cat. This is our first cat.
Our first cat?
Yes.
It is our first cat. Kurt Dog says, let the cat talk. Oh, Meadow. Yes. Meadow. Meadow is not just the first cat, but the best cat. Rest in peace, Meadow.
No.
No rest in peace, Meadow? Really?
Yes, rest in peace. But Meadow's not the best cat. She's one of the greatest.
Do you have a best cat?
Yes.
You better say Mrs. Boots, or we're going to have trouble.
No. Look, Mrs. Boots was a lovely cat.
Allow me to do my impression of Mrs. Boots meow.
It really was beautiful.
Thank you. She would only meow to her daughter, which was a stuffed kitten that she carried around everywhere and would rub food on its face because she thought it was her kid. But when she would meow to people, it wouldn't be a meow. It wasn't a hiss. It was just like a meow without the meow. So it was a...
It was beautiful.
All right, we're moving on. Oh, wait. Do you hear that? I think I hear something.
I don't even know where it is.
I thought I heard something. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I was hearing things. I guess I was hearing things.
That is not correct.
Hey, be quiet.
Oh.
I think I hear something. NPD, 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 NPD.
Thanks, Josh. Didn't mean
Is
to.
that what I sound like?
Didn't mean to disturb you there, boy. What were you doing? Oh, never mind. I know.
Did you know you can win money just for playing
I
Tetris?
knew that's what he was doing.
$5,000 is on the line tonight in Tetris Prime Time.
Tetris Prime Time. All right, Mom Brain. No Nikki Hill here. It's just you this time.
Crumbs.
We have the NPD breakdown for July 2020. We're looking for the top 10 software in July 2020 for the United States. Remember, this is physical only. I have the top 20, but I'm just asking for the top 10 from you.
Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing is number 5, yes.
Minecraft.
Minecraft is not in the top 10,
Ooh.
but it is on the charts.
Call of Duty.
Call of Duty is number 2, yes.
Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft Auto. Grand Theft Auto is always on here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see it, but I'll keep looking.
Is there a Tom Clancy situation?
No.
NFL.
Again,
FIFA.
I tell you this all the time. Madden games come out in
Just
August.
leave me be. FIFA.
No FIFA in the top 10. No.
NBA something or other.
No.
NHL.
Nope.
MLB. Just covering my bases.
Was that a pun?
No, but it is now.
All right. Well, we'll just start.
Okay.
Number 1. You don't know what it is.
Okay.
Okay, I'll tell you this. It's the name of a PS4 game. It's a brand new game. It's called Ghost of
Mana.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, right.
Number 2 is Call of Duty. Number 3. You've watched me play some of it. Switch exclusive. Features a first-party character.
Paper Mario.
Paper Mario, the Origami King.
Is The Last of Us on there somewhere?
The Last of Us Part 2 is number 4. Yes, the next one. Then Animal Crossing, as we said. Okay, number 6 is one you played a couple times. It requires an accessory.
Ring Fit Adventure.
Ring Fit Adventure. Very good. Number 7, rip people's hearts out and spines and all that.
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat 11. Number 8, it's about driving and you throw things at people.
About driving and you throw things at people. Oh, Mario Kart.
Yeah, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Number 9, a whole bunch of characters fight each other.
Smash.
Yes. And number 10 is one you will never guess. Sword Art Online. Alicization. Lycoris.
Yes, of course. Of course.
Your 11 through 20 are Minecraft, Breath of the Wild, Rainbow Six Siege. There's your Tom Clancy. New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, MLB The Show 20, Star Wars Jedi, Fallen Order, Need for Speed Heat, Marvel's Spider-Man, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Call of Duty Black Ops 3. And here's some little tidbits for you that are worth pointing out.
Ooh.
Paper Mario, the Origami King, set a new launch month sales record for a Paper Mario title. So this is a perfect example of the internet saying like, I'm not buying this game because it's not like Thousand Year Door. And it was just a vocal minority because it set a new launch month sales record. Physical launch month dollar sales for Paper Mario more than doubled those of the previous record holder, which was Paper Mario, the Thousand Year Door. So not only did it set a new record, it took down the one that everybody says is the best.
I fight for my friends.
I'm just happy people gave this game a shot because I was so disappointed seeing all the negativity online because I was like, man, people really are going to poop on this game and I really, really enjoy it. And I think they're going to miss out on what I think is a very special adventure. And I'm glad to see that is not the case, at least in the launch month's sales. So that's great. I'm very happy to see that's the case. Switch was also, once again, the best-selling hardware platform. That's for July and for 2020 year to date. And that's in terms of both unit and dollar sales. So you name a month in 2020 and the Switch has been the best-selling platform.
January.
Switch.
Wow.
Very good. And then you have all your other stuff, industry-wide sales and all that. But that's the important details there. Philo says, producer Kensuke Tanabe is bringing the heavy hitters. Hopefully, Metroid Prime will also be a success story. Hopefully, we shall see, my friend.
I'm a hardcore gamer.
Okay,
He
Josh.
just wanted you to know that.
Thank you. I mean, I know. Freddie Fro says, we picked up Paper Mario this week and have been having a blast. We'll be playing more after the podcast. You weren't kidding about the music, Rummy. Absolute bangers. Oh, my God. Yes. Soundtrack in that game is so good. Whatever the Shy Guy place is, like the desert location with the Shy Guys, I forget what it's called. That whole area has great music all throughout. I mean, the whole game's got great music, but that location in particular, I really enjoyed. Speaking of music,
I got music.
this is pretty cool. Someone discovered that the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild's Guardian Battle theme has ties to another Legend of Zelda song. Now, this is something Nintendo has done multiple times with music in Zelda games. They will take a song from a previous Zelda and twist it around in some way as a tribute to in another Zelda game. A more recent example would be the Lorule Castle theme in The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds was a reverse version of the castle theme from...
This is what it is, right?
Thank you.
Okay.
The Lorule Castle theme was a reverse version of the castle theme from A Link to the Past. But there's been other examples along there. But yes, now we find out that the Guardian Battle theme in Breath of the Wild is an inversion of Zelda's Lullaby from A Link to the Past, or more popularized by Ocarina of Time, but A Link to the Past. An inversion, so it's not a reverse version of the song, it's an inversion. So the notes are a mirror of one another. So they're moved up or down in the same amount of spaces in the opposite of direction of where they were before. So, you know, if Zelda's Lullaby goes boo doo doo, so then the other one would be boo doo. I can't do it. It's, you know, instead of going up, it goes down, or instead of going down, it goes up. You can see this written out on the staff.
They're the same number of spaces from midline.
Yeah.
You can think of it like that.
Yeah. You can see this written out on a musical staff by the Redditor, A Very Little Stoat, who figured this out. And then we also have the 2 video clips for you to hear as well. You can hear the version of Zelda's Lullaby that is in Breath of the Wild, and then the Guardian Battle theme as well. So just another cool little thing that Nintendo's done. And as it's pointed out in the article, this also actually makes sense story-wise for what's going on in the game, because in Breath of the Wild, Zelda was involved with the creation of the Guardians, but then they got corrupted by Calamity Ganon, and the corruption could be seen as, you know, people say things got turned upside down, things got turned on their head. So the corruption of the song gives you what you hear in the Guardian Battle theme. I think that's really cool. Definitely one of the more sophisticated things Nintendo has done with their musical tributes. Akmaguin says, cool, but it would be hard to top the reverse song they made for Skyward Sword. That was genius among genius. That is my personal favorite. I rewatched that video when I was posting this because I just couldn't get over that they did that, because I love Skyward Sword's theme, and it just blows my mind that it's a reverse version of another Zelda song. It's just crazy to me. Can I get a draw roll, please? The Switch has officially surpassed the NES in total sales. We have talked about this in the past, but now it is official, and this is only based on the latest Japanese numbers, because Japan is the only one that offers up weekly hardware sales data. So based on what Nintendo said in their quarterly report, which put the Switch at 61.45 million units as of June 30th, then you add in the weekly sales of the Switch in Japan alone into the first week of August, We now know that the Switch has officially sold 62 million, over 62 million units, and the NES sold 61.91 million units. So it's official. Only with a few weeks worth of Japanese data, the Switch has officially outsold the NES. That means the only console left for the Switch to beat is the Wii. The Wii sold roughly 101 million units.
0.6.
Repeating, of course. And the Switch is at 62 million, so it's got some work to do, but it is certainly possible. We'll see what happens, but I mean, if you for some reason consider the Switch to be a failure, that would mean you have to consider the NES, the Super Nintendo, the Nintendo 64, and the GameCube to be a failure. I think we would all agree the Wii U, at least in terms of sales, was a failure. But yeah, Nintendo's always doomed. Akmaguin says, by the end of fiscal year, March 31st, 2020, it will have surpassed the 3DS and be close to the GBA. This thing is a monster in sales. Well, we will see. We got some time to wait. But yeah, the thing's still selling like crazy right now. Stock is still hard to find, all that good stuff. So it doesn't look like it's slowing down anytime soon. We have a rumor that Suda51's classic Killer 7, which was on the GameCube, is going to make its way to the Switch. We already know that No More Heroes, even though it's not officially announced, the original No More Heroes is coming to the Switch. This is confirmed by a rating by the Taiwanese ratings board. So that is 100% official. We're just waiting on the announcement. Now, as for Killer 7, there's a LinkedIn employee of Engine Software who says on their profile that they worked on Killer 7 Remastered for Steam. It's available right now, but it also says for Switch. Now, as you know, it's not on Switch yet, and it hasn't been announced, but this is an Engine Software employee who worked on the previous Steam port, so I think they would know what's going on here. Suda has said multiple times in the past that he would like to bring Killer 7 to the Switch, but he would have to get the blessing of Capcom to make that happen, because Capcom was the publisher and still maintains publishing rights for Killer 7. So it seems like, as long as the information on his LinkedIn page is correct, it seems like he got Capcom's blessing. So I would imagine we'll hear about this soon. Philo says, "Stop! My Switch can only get so surreal, Kafka-esque, and sweary. What the Switch lacks in power, it compensates in volume. So many little games make it sure a treasure trove." So many little games make it sure a treasure trove of ports. I only wish there was a good way to track them all. I played Killer 7 on the GameCube, start to finish, but Jesus Christ, that was a long time ago.
Whoa, easy there.
There's so much I've forgotten about it. I would jump at the chance to play Killer 7 again. I'm not much for sitting down to play a game on the computer, but if it's on console, I would certainly do it. So if it's coming to Switch, hell yes, I'm going to play through that game again. And I would imagine I would be able to understand it a little bit better this time too. Mr. Igarashi, the man who is behind many Castlevania games, released Bloodstained Ritual of the Night, his own Metroidvania that is not tied to Castlevania in any way. And while we've heard that it did quite well on the Switch in previous interviews, we now have more specific details because he spoke to Famitsu about it. And Famitsu asked him where the game sold best. And he says, quote, "The Nintendo Switch sales were well above our expectations. The game launched 1 week later on Switch than on other consoles, and I figured fans wouldn't be able to wait the extra week for the Switch version, so that was unexpected," end quote. Yeah, Switch owners want the game on Switch because it was, when you get a new system, usually you want to get the latest games for that new system. So people are like, I got this new thing, I might as well get some games for it. And people were willing to wait a week to get the Switch version. So there you go. Switch version is the best selling. Now, as for where in the world the game sold best.
As for where in the world Carmen Sandiego is.
Mr. Igarashi said this, quote, "That'd be North America. There's always been a lot of fans there. Back in the day, North America used to account for about 50% of my game sales. But with Ritual of the Night, it's actually increased even more than that. After that, it'd be Japan, China, and then the UK in that order." Hey, UK, what the hell's wrong with you?
Whoa!
You don't like Metroidvania games from the king of Metroidvanias? it's no surprise to hear that those Castlevania games did so well in North America because that's always been the case, really. There's just been a very big audience for his Metroidvania games when he was making them. I'm sad he doesn't make actual Castlevania Metroidvania games anymore, but we'll see where he goes from here. But yeah, North America loves that genre, and of course they're going to follow like the guy who really popularized them onto his next game. Smasher89 says, I recall the game got reports of performance issues at release. Are those fixed, and is the game finished? The game is certainly in a much better condition right now than when it was at launch. I played it at launch, and there were a couple areas that were extremely rough, yes, but I'm more forgiving than most, so it wasn't enough for me to not play the game. But it was stuff for me to like make note of and point out and share videos on because it was very rough in some spots. But my understanding is, yes, the game is in much better shape now, but still not perfect. But that's the case on all platforms. It's in better shape, but not perfect. I would imagine this whole Kickstarter situation has been a big learning experience for Igarashi. And if he were to make another game using Kickstarter, I would imagine the process going forward would be much smoother. And they'll make sure they have a much more fine-tuned product when they actually release it to the public. You know, when you're going from what he used to do, working under Konami, and they were handling all that other stuff, and he just had to develop the game, it makes more sense that the final product was more polished. But with Igarashi doing everything, you know, he was working with tons of people, obviously, but spearheading the project on his own and going out and doing this for the first time, being involved in all these other facets. There were some hiccups along the way. So I understand it. I also understand consumer frustration and all that, but
I'm suffering from consumer frustration.
It would be interesting to see if consumers would be willing to give him a second chance with another Kickstarter, and if he would be able to make an easier go of things this time around. Finally, a story Mom Brain was just talking to me about today. Hellmann's, the food company Hellmann's, is doing something really cool in Animal Crossing. It hasn't started yet. I believe it starts on August 17th. Yes, August 17th to August 22nd. Here's what Hellmann's is doing. So we're used to brands using Animal Crossing to spread word on what their brands have. You know, like, hey, we're McDonald's and we got McDonald's clothing in Animal Crossing and you can wear it. But Hellmann's is doing something cool. I'll read you their specific press release. Hellmann's Canada has created an island in Animal Crossing New Horizons that gives players the opportunity to make change in the real world by converting their virtual food waste in-game into real food for people in need. Turnips are at the top of the food chain when it comes to the valuable food items players can acquire to increase their wealth. Each week, Animal Crossing players purchase turnips on the stock market that will spoil if not sold within the week, becoming virtually worthless in the game. From 3 p.m. New Jersey time 3 on Monday, August 17th to Saturday, August 22nd, players will be able to visit the Hellmann's Island to drop off their spoiled turnips and explore the other beautiful attractions on the island. In exchange for these spoiled turnips, Hellmann's will donate to Second Harvest, Canada's largest food rescue charity, to help provide 25,000 meals in total for vulnerable communities across the country. Whether virtual or real, at Hellmann's, we believe food is too precious, precious food, to waste, and we're thrilled to partner once again with Second Harvest to provide meals to Canadians in need. That is pretty cool.
It is cool.
And then they give a whole breakdown of how it will work. So if you want to actually participate in this and help them reach their 25,000 meal target, you can read the press release to get all the details. And then, like they said, there's other things to do while you're at the island if you want. You know, I'm sure all sorts of exciting Hellmann's things to do.
I used Hellmann's mayonnaise
I hear there's
today.
a nice mayonnaise river, a lazy mayonnaise river that you can You can lay out on the beach and slather yourself in Hellmann's to fight off the sun.
Perfect.
Don't girls use mayonnaise in their hair?
Yeah, some people do. Yeah.
Well, there you go.
I never have. I think my mother did once, because this might come as a surprise to you, but in the late 80s, through the 90s and into probably the early 2000s, my mother dyed her hair very blonde. And we were on vacation in Arizona visiting my dad's aunt and uncle, and her hair turned green from being in the pool. And one of the remedies she tried was washing her hair with mayonnaise.
Well, there you go. So I'm sure they'll have all kinds of... I mean, Hellmann's does other foods, though, but I mean, what else? They're known for mayonnaise, right? What else does Hellmann's do?
Bring out the Hellmanns.
I don't know the rest.
Bring out the best.
Are you going to tell me what else they do? They do relish?
I think Heinz does relish. I think Hellman's just does like a bunch of different kinds of mayo. I'm not a big mayo fan, but there are a few places for mayo. One being on the outside of the grilled cheese sandwich before you toast it. Delicious. Two, a BLT must have mayo. And three, when I make cheese spread, you got to have mayo inside.
Hellmann's does ketchup. They also have specialty sauces.
Who
tartar sauce
in their
Dijonnaise.
right mind eats ketchup that is not Heinz?
Burger sauce. It's just called burger sauce.
I feel like I've seen that before.
Relish sandwich spread.
That sounds real gross.
Roasted red pepper sauce, creamy chili honey, cilantro lime.
No.
Creamy bourbon barbecue.
Mm-mm.
Roasted garlic sauce.
I think we're done with this
They have
conversation.
organic mayonnaise. They have vegan mayo.
That's lovely.
I want to see what their ketchup looks like. Look at that.
It's probably red.
Real ketchup sweetened only with honey. Look at that. It looks pretty fancy. I would try that.
I'll remember you said that.
Oh, my face.
Bless you.
Thank you. All right, that's it. We're done with all that. Mom Brain, what have you been playing?
I have been playing Animal Crossing, of course.
Hello, Outlaws. Yes, you've tuned into Sauce Talk this week.
And I have been playing The Last of Us Part 2.
You are getting to the end.
I've been putting it off.
And I think you need to reverse that today.
No, I'm painting.
You are so frustrating. You are in the home stretch. You could finish it tonight.
I don't want it to be over.
Just because the game is over doesn't mean there aren't things to contemplate after.
What do you think? I got a couple hours?
Well, you're at that part. I'd say maybe 3 hours.
Oh my god.
Something like that. Maybe 4. No, I'd say 3. That 3 sounds good. Are you going to finish it this weekend?
Yeah, I just...
She shook my hand.
I'm not ready for it to be over, and I'm also really scared that something so traumatizing is going to happen. I don't know how it could be any more traumatizing than it already has
Well, you know
been,
how you
but...
can find out. You could play the game. Well, thanks, Mom Brain. That's it.
That is it. What have you been playing?
I mean, I played a little Fortnite.
You're okay.
I sneezed and threw my whole face out of whack.
That happens to me sometimes.
I played a little Fortnite just Sunday, but then I was hit with death, so I haven't played anything. I really want to get in and play some more Fortnite because I'm really back into it. But yes, I did not feel like playing video games. I don't know if I feel like playing video games today. I feel like I want to play video games, but I also feel like if I started playing, I'd be like, bleh.
My barometer is always coffee. When I'm like super sick, I don't want coffee, and I know I'm feeling better when I start to be like, you know what, I could go for like a good coffee.
Well, right now, honestly, right now, this very second is the first time all week where I'm like, oh, I'm hungry now. Like I actually want to eat something. So
we can talk about what you want. Maybe I'll make you eggs.
Maybe I make you eggs. But yeah, I feel like, I don't know, Fortnite is right on the edge of where like I don't take it I don't take any game seriously. But like Fortnite, you're playing online with real people. You have to really pay attention. Like you got to sit up and pay attention. I feel like if I'm going to play something, I'd have to play something more passive right now. But we'll see. We'll see. Who knows? Maybe by the end of tonight, I'll want to play. Is that pop figurine real, Steel Diver?
Ew, it's a little bit creepy. Well, we're not big pop figurines.
I don't knock anyone who likes pop figure, whatever they are.
Figurines.
Funko Pops. But they're not my cup of tea. But he shared a picture of one that's of Gamer Bart, as in Bart from The Simpsons, and it is something else. Freddie Fro says, we picked up Drink More Glurp. It's a hilarious and super polished Olympics type game in the vein of Human Fall Flat. So good. Yeah, I want to try that one out. I've been excited for it. Thanks, Ala Wolf. I hope I feel better too. I am feeling better each day since Thursday. I'm hoping I stay that way. If I'm taking medicine and I feel worse as the week goes on, then I'm in trouble. I also want to do what the hell's the one everybody's playing? That's like like Wipeout. Except it's everybody going at the same time. I'm so out of it. I can't. Fall Guys. Thank you, Roth. I really want to play Fall Guys. That's right up my alley. I'm very excited to play that. I wasn't in a spot to play anything this week. So, all right, let's do some questions. Send your questions to GoNintendoQuestions@gmail.com.
Where?
GoNintendoQuestions@gmail.com. They can be about video games. They can be about Nintendo. They can be about video games in general. Or they can be about whatever the hell you want. Today's question comes from Shaunik the Hedgehog.
I love it.
This is a question from Shaunik the Hedgehog. I rarely get the chance to take part live and use the Discord chat. Well, you're here with us today. This week, I beat the 26-year-old classic Super Metroid for the first time ever. After several attempts over the years where I started a game and then got frustrated after a short period of time. But this time I stuck with it and it was supremely satisfying, beating the game in under 10 hours with no assistance from the internet. Well, good for you, sir. My question, do you have a game that you have started and stopped playing maybe more than once and then come back to it later only to be so happy you finally finished it or mad that you didn't beat it sooner? Yeah, I've talked about it. My number one would be the original Gears of War. I started and stopped that one at least 4 times before I got it and had it click for me. And as I've said in the past, it was because when I play games, I'm very conservative with ammo and I try and go for headshots all the time. And that is just really not what Gears of War is all about. Gears of War is like, let's just shoot everything like crazy and pump 1,000,000 bullets into it. And it's way over the top and just go nuts.
So dramatic.
And when I finally pulled away from being conservative with my ammo and my approach to gameplay and being more offensive and just going all out, then it finally clicked for me and I was having fun. It was just yeah, let's just go crazy. So that just really made the game fun for me. That made the whole series click for me. So that's mine. On Brain, I don't know if you have one. Was it Majora's Mask, maybe? Still haven't beaten it, but you have gone back to it a few times. And the last time you actually put a considerable amount of time into it. And then, I don't know, probably found a cat picture on the internet and distracted you.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, I would say that's yours. That's the one that comes to mind for you anyway. Yeah. You played it many times before that where you played the first hour or so and were like, nope, and then gave up. But last time I'd say you put 5 or 6 hours into it.
Yeah.
Will there ever come a
Which
time
in the
where
game is 5 or 6 days.
Will there ever be
I'll get there. I'll get there.
Okay. Thanks. Love the podcast. I listen to the recorded podcast every single week while driving or grocery shopping. Actually, while grocery shopping? That sounds fun.
It's a great idea.
Like pushing the cart and listening?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I've done headphones and ShopRite a few times, but
let's give them a little supermarket experience. You do the loudspeaker and I'll do the music.
Okay.
Attention parents. Will Mr. Jones please report to Scrunchy's Playhouse? Again, Mr. Jones, please report to Scrunchy's Playhouse.
I feel like that was pretty good.
Also, if you're grocery shopping, I want you to stop, look to your right. Whatever is at eye level, you have to buy.
You're buying it.
We need to know what it was.
Tell if it was good. I hope it's a food, like a snack or something. I don't want it to be
the light bulb aisle.
Yeah,
it's
I was thinking a collection of hangers,
a couple of
hangers.
cassette tapes that they still keep around that are dusty.
A fish tank filter.
At our ShopRite, you can buy sheets. Grocery store sheets.
What do you mean? I don't understand what you're getting grossed out about.
It just grosses me out.
What are you talking about? What do you mean sheets?
Like bed sheets.
Like in a package, right?
Doesn't matter.
They're
Just
not
think
like
about
loose.
sleeping on that. Just think about sleeping on that. They came from
You're sounding very privileged right now.
They came from ShopRite.
You're sounding very privileged.
I recognize that I am very privileged, and I am also very particular about my bed.
May I say, when we try ShopRite brand foods, they are often better than the name brand.
Our house, if there's a ShopRite brand of it, we that's what I
But
buy.
do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it.
Maybe the sheets will be better.
No, they're not ShopRite brand sheets.
Maybe they are.
No, they're not.
Maybe they came straight from a ShopRite employee's bed.
Also, the tear in your favorite sheets, I'm pretty sure did come from your necklace.
Oh.
I really wanted it to be from one of your jagged toenails.
It
but
is what it is.
Doesn't check out, really.
I would say that I don't have jagged toenails, but I would say you are the one with those.
What?
Mm-hmm. You have sliced me before.
That's not jagged. That's long.
We have our Patreon question.
Ooh.
And as you may know...
Very cool.
Oh, very cool. That's right. As you may know, you can join the Patreon.
For $1.
For $1. Yes, Mom Brain. You finally picked up on it this week. For just $1. Yes. This week I talked twice about how I was sick because that's all I could muster up. This week we'll be back to normal. But yes, we also have a Patreon questions section. And today's Patreon question comes from Nico Darunia.
Ooh.
And he says, for each pair, you've got to pick one. All right, Mom Brain, we'll both play here. Are you ready?
Okay, here we go.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Tea. Still water or sparkling water?
Sparkling.
Still. Fish or meat?
Meat.
Meat. Portable or home console?
Home.
Home. Mario or Wario?
Wario.
Wario. Tingle or Miyamoto?
Tingle.
Tingle. Or the most important one, Josh or the cat.
The
I will
cat.
not say his name because he's sleeping. And I will say Josh. Of course, Josh.
Shut up. I don't care.
Well, Josh, sorry. You're me and you, buddy. We're together forever, whether you like it or not. And you know what I say to that, Josh? Thanks. Very cool.
No, not at all.
I knew.
Smash that subscribe button.
I knew Josh didn't stand a chance against the cat with you, but it is what it is.
He's in his cat salon, and it's just so lovely.
He can stay there all day.
Salon,
for like,
sitting room.
not like a styling
Not
station.
like a
Yes.
yeah.
All right. Well, we don't have music trivia today because it is just Mom Brain
I'm
and
a
I.
hardcore gamer.
Mm-hmm. So that's it. We're done here. I survived a podcast, and I'd say it went fine. And I can feel right when I'm done, I'm gonna want to just
Rest.
take a nice little nap. This is well, I mean, I updated the site all week, but this is like the most active I've been all week.
And it's the most you've been all week too.
Yes. And now I am hungry for eggs. Since you said eggs, I'm very excited.
I'll make you eggs.
Scrambled, please.
Of course.
Scrambled only with some nice Hellmann's ketchup. Thank you. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Let's see if this will work. Where am I? We'll see you next week. Goodbye, everybody. It worked. It worked. Oh, man. Mayo chup. Mom Brain, how do you feel about mayo chup?
No, thank you.
Like, wouldn't use it at all? Do you like mayo on things?
No. I like, as I said, mayo on certain things. I don't want to know it's there. I want like a thin schmear. My mother, I think, really enjoys mayo.
My mother.
My mother also freaking loves butter. Like if she's going to make herself a sandwich, which she like never does, that she like really wants, she spreads butter on the bread first. Like her her parents were farmers, like they grew up on farms. So I guess that was like a farmer thing to do. And my mother, quote, loves it when you hit a butter hump in your sandwich. So she'll like butter the bread and then put like whatever, you know, bologna and whatever on it and then eat it. And it's gross. It's just gross.
I'm not a butter person.
I like butter.
Yeah, I butter. Like I like buttered toast and all that, but I don't like a lot of butter. But yeah, just I don't know, butter on stuff. I'm like, it just feels like slippery and oily. I'm never like, yeah, butter. I'm trying to think of things like there's nothing where I like a lot of butter on it. I don't like pasta. I don't like butter on, and
you don't like buttered noodles?
No.
Oh, it's such a soothing food.
I mean, I don't hate it. I'm not like this is gross or anything, but like if given the choice, no, I don't want it. Like, you know, grilled cheese. I don't even want butter on grilled cheese. I think it ruins it. But I know that's like
well, I could do the mayo trick for you. I think
out of the ordinary. Grilled mayo cheese?
Yeah.
Oh, look at that little guy. Oh, he's licking his chops. All right, everybody. That's your after show for today. Go eat some mayo and ketchup and turnips and whatever the hell else we talked about. Oh! But yes, thank you for watching and listening.
Happy early birthday, Rami!
Oh, thank you. Thanks for being understanding about this week. Go play some games, rest, relax, hang out with friends and family virtually or whatever you're doing. You deserve it. And we'll see you next week. Goodbye, everybody.